Welcome to the Ho-Ho Show.
Rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airwaves and strap in as we
defend the Constitution, because freedom matters.
We are broadcasting live from the Kaida studio, so welcome to the Ho-Ho Show, and as always, I am your host, Ho-Ho. All right, guys, so yesterday I was trying to do a show. I really was, and we're like a day late. Yesterday's show today because I had some internet issues. I had like 20, 30 minutes before the show. Things wasn't wanting to load properly. I don't know what happened with the internet speed, but it was horrible. It took it about 40 minutes to an hour to straighten up, and it was holy crap. But it finally did straighten up, finally did start working again. Everything was fine. And normally, I tell you what, this was actually kind of surprising because normally I don't have any issues with my internet. You know, fiber optics does a great job, but this is the first time that I've ever had an internet issue that I couldn't fix by just powering down the router and then powering it back up again. Normally that fixes any issues I got, but this time, however, that just didn't happen. Holy crap. So guys, I have a little bit of something to tell you. I have an exciting new addition to the Ho-Ho household. Yes, I do. I finally got me a puppers. I did. I got me a puppers. Now guys, look, I have had animals my entire life. Cats, dogs, all my life. Love animals. Animals are amazing. They're awesome. They really are. And, you know, the past, 7 years maybe. Yeah, maybe 7 years is the only time in my life that I've not had some type of an animal. You know, and with being a truck driver, it's just like, you know, I can't do that, you know, not being home enough. I can't do it. You know, I don't want to take a cat with me out on the road. I mean, that's just, you know, I just can't do that, you know, and it's just hadn't really, you know, with dogs, you know, cause like, you know, going up to Canada, they don't like pit bulls up there. And that was the most readily available dog to me there for a while. And then it was just like, I didn't want to take a dog with me out on the road. I just felt that was, didn't want to do it. Finally bit the bullet, got a dog, and we've been having a good time. We really have been. She's a good pupper. She's kind of like she's a herd animal, kind of like a blue heeler, Australian cattle dog. Good looking dog. She really is. Good times. We've been having a blast. So guys, Y'all know how I like to start the show, and that's with a little bit of satire. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Now, this one, when I seen this, guys, look, the Babylon Bee is an awesome site. It cracks me up, some of the stuff that they come up with. And this headline did not disappoint. Let me throw this at you. Miley Cyrus to perform the halftime show at the January 6th committee hearings. And yeah, I was definitely like oh, that's funny. I didn't even read the article because the picture that they threw in here was just hilarious. You know, it's the, you know, her on the wrecking ball. You know, I came in like a wrecking ball. I'm not singing it because I don't do that song very well. Cropped into an image of, yeah, it's just absolutely hilarious. I had to laugh, and you can see this and all the other stories that I will be referencing today over at the website, thehohoshow.com. Just click on that newsfeed tab, and there you'll see my magazine on Flipboard. You guys can just check all of those out. I like to put that stuff in there. You know, this way people can fact check me, see where I get all of my information at, all of the articles that I see. So obviously, we're going to dive into this first hearing for the January 6th thing. Okay. Now, guys, look. I don't know if y'all took the time out of your day. What was that, Friday that they did that? It might have been, was it a Friday or a Thursday or a Wednesday? You know, I don't even know. I don't even know when it was. I don't remember. I didn't watch it. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't watch it. I didn't listen to even any clips from it. Nothing, not at all. You know, and the reason why, it's not because I don't feel that this isn't newsworthy, because it is. But the whole thing is a sham. It really is. I mean, they claim that this is bipartisan, but this is the most non-bipartisan, bipartisan, you know, people on this committee that I've ever seen. Every single one of them, even the Republicans, are all never Trumpers. These are all people who hate Trump. So, I mean, this isn't really even a bipartisan type of an issue. They wouldn't allow Jim Jordan and others to even go on this committee. And the whole reason is because they didn't want the tough questions to be asked. Oh, I can definitely do that. Dave put in and goes, congratulations. Make sure to share a pic when you get a chance. I will do that, actually. You know, I will do that. You know, whenever she first came home, it was great. You know, I picked her up on Wednesday. I had an overnight trip that I went out to Ohio and back, and you know, brought her with me, and she actually did good up in the truck. You know, she was in the sleeper, in the seat beside me, in the sleeper, in the seat beside me, like all day on Wednesday. You know, and then like pretty much the same thing, mostly in the seat with me on the next day on Thursday. Got home, and whenever we got home, you know, she didn't want anything to do with the backyard, like, at all. She was like, she did not really want to go out there. She didn't like the doorway, and my steps are kind of wonky at the back door anyway. She didn't want to go inside, and we had issues on that first night. Got back, you know, whenever I got back home on Thursday night. But finally, you know, Friday, she did great. You know, I had half a day at work, and she did great. No issues whatsoever. Going outside, running inside, playing around, you know. But I got like sitting on 2.5 lot. And so I got a pretty good size backyard for her, you know, and she's loving it right now. She is. She's exploring all over the place. It's good time. So anyway, Dave says totally unfair, ridiculous. I know. He also put on here, I watched Tucker without commercial interruptions. Yeah, you know, there was some people that had some, you know, stuff on here. I know, at least based off of one of the headlines that I've got. Evidently, I got two of them stinking things. It's like the same. Oh, wait, no, it just kind of looks the same. Okay, never mind. Where did that thing go? Anyway, I seen a headline that I didn't think, like with Jim Jordan, I didn't think they even let him on the committee. I mean, they were like Mitch McConnell. I believe, was like, let's put, he tried to put them on the committee, but Nancy Pelosi said, she put a stop to it. She was like, no. So as far as I know, and I could be wrong on that, but as far as I know, Jim Jordan, because I think there was like 2 or 3 people that Mitch McConnell tried to get on the committee, but Nancy Pelosi put a stop to it. And the Republicans that she did allow to go on the committee were people that, are, definitely no Trumpers, no Trumpers. So as far as I know, or at least as far as I remember, no. But again, I very much could be wrong on that. I very much could be wrong on that. But I seen a thing that was like, Fox News, I guess they didn't air anything on it. I mean, I know that they had Sean Hannity on there and he was talking negatively about it because, like I said, we knew what this thing was from the get-go. Like any conservative, anybody on the right knew what this was from the beginning. This was just going to be pointing the finger right at Donald Trump, trying to blame him for everything. And the reason is quite clear. I mean, let's face it. Biden is doing a horrible job with the, with the economy, with the high gas prices, with everything that's going on, with the border crisis. Holy crap. We have a border czar that still has yet to go down to the border, but yet she'll go overseas and do all kinds of other things, So, I mean, we know what this is. The Democrats don't have anybody, because they don't really see Biden having a second term, and they don't have anybody on the bench to fill the shoes that they think have any kind of a chance at actually winning an election, especially if they go up against Donald Trump and even the current Florida governor, Ron DeSantis. It's like, there ain't no way. They know it's a losing battle. They know it's a losing battle. And so what they're trying to do is discredit Trump as best as they can. That's why they keep going after him, I mean, Trump did not push anything on with Hillary Clinton. After the election, he didn't push anything. And it was more or less the general census was. And of course, this was coming out of primarily from the left and from liberals was, you just don't go after previous administrations and different stuff like that. And it was like, okay, well here, he played fair against Obama. He played fair against, or at least in their mind, played fair against Obama, played fair against, Hillary Clinton. But now it's Trump. And because of how much fear they have of him running in 2024, they don't want to take the chance. That's why they are trying their absolute best to push him away, trying to make him persona non grata, or however you say that, so he won't have a chance. And Dave put in there and goes, I'm not sure either. I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I know that, they tried to get him on there, but I didn't, last I knew, or at least could remember, they didn't get that far. So we all know that this is nothing more than a political hit piece, kind of like the impeachments, political hit pieces. That's all they are. We all know that. David Henry goes, they talked a little bit about it. And honestly, if I was a Democrat, I'd be a little concerned, a little concerned about the state of, State of the Union, or, a little concerned about, possibly, with the great possibility of losing the 2024 election. I mean, yeah, I'd be concerned if I was a Democrat, absolutely, So anyway, we all know what this is. And we also all know that, because people like Jim Jordan are not on this committee, we know that they're not going to ask the tough questions. Okay. I've got several articles out here, and I tell you what, you're not going to hear this from mainstream media. You're definitely not going to hear this, I don't even know how much of this that Fox News is really doing. I mean, Fox News is really kind of trying to ride the middle. They're not, I can't even consider Fox News to be conservative, because there's still stuff that they do that is just like, I don't like it, but at least they try to run the middle. You know, they try to appease both sides. And that at least I like. At least we got somebody that even though they don't try too hard, they still pretend. But yeah, you're not going to hear this on mainstream media. And you're not going to hear this, like outside of the Patriot Channel and different podcasts out there. There's not a lot you're going to hear about some of this stuff. Now, I had to laugh about this whenever I seen this headline from MRC News Busters. The headline is, Broadcast Network's January 6th hearing drew smaller audiences than nightly newscasts last week. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. And that was just kind of par for the course on things. You know, they didn't really get a very big audience. They really, like even Democrats were like, we know what this is. I mean, there's not really going to be much bombshell stuff coming out of this. They're not going to, they weren't even interested. And everybody on the right, like I said, they all knew what this was. So why watch it? Why watch a smear campaign that isn't going to be based off of truth? I mean, this is like watching a reality show on TV. What's the going thing about any reality show you watch on TV? It ain't based in reality. I mean, that's kind of the thing about it. And so everybody knew what they were going to be watching. Here's this headline. Trump Pentagon first offered National Guard to Capitol 4 days before the January 6th riots. Yeah. Why didn't they talk about that during the hearing? Why didn't they talk about, Trump offered, and I don't remember the numbers as far as how many people he offered, but it was basically what he was able to offer by law. I think like 2,000 troops maybe, or 2,000 National Guard. I don't remember. I heard the number. I don't remember now. But yeah, 4 days before January 6th. So on January 2nd, Trump offered up the National Guard, and they were like, no. They were like, nope, not going to do it. Dave put in here, goes, yes, I agree. If I was a Democrat, I'd be concerned that my party is a mess and it's moving further left. Oh, yeah. And that's the thing, Dave, that, now I think as far as the actual voting bloc goes, the people that make up the majority of the Democrat Party, not the politicians, but the people whom they, represent. I think most of them are more, more center of left, not a radical left, and I truly do. I think most of them are like that. I mean, the unfortunate thing is you have people like AOC, and the like that are in there that are just, not numerous. They don't make up a majority of the party. However, they do make up the loudest part of the party. And that's what I think a lot of the problem is with the Democrat Party. I don't think the majority of them are that radical. I don't think the majority of the party is that radical left. It's just the aspect of those that are the radicals. They're loud. They're the loudest ones. And, people like Nancy Pelosi feel as though they have to cater to them in order to keep control of the party because they're the louder ones. They think they make up the majority. And that's what I think it more or less amounts to. I could be wrong on that, but with the Democrats that I've talked to, that really kind of seems what it amounts to. I mean, it could be just the area that I'm at and the people that I talk to, but that's just kind of that's just what it seems like to me. The majority of them, they want the same thing we want. And for the most part, they see a lot of issues with how the Democrat Party runs. It's not like they're blind to it, but for some reason they just, they have issues voting Republican or even voting for Trump. Just whatever. It is what it is. But you're not going to see these type of headlines in mainstream media. You're not going to see a lot of this kind of stuff being reported about the National Guard being offered up 4 days before the January 6th riots. And we also know for a fact that the Schumer team received FBI intel about the possible violence, but it says that the frontline cops didn't, which I actually thought was kind of weird. You know, I know we got like a few different areas of what we're looking at. You know, you got the DC police, you've got, you know, the Capitol Police, I guess, and you got, whatever. But here's the thing of it, okay? As intel started to grow, intel started to grow and they started to see, things happening, okay? Nancy Pelosi is the one that is in charge. She is the head of the Capitol Police. She is head and responsible for the security of the Capitol, of the Capitol Police, the whole 9 yards. She is the one who has the authority to pull the trigger, if you will, for the National Guard, for, like the riot police and different, stuff like that for the Capitol. She didn't do it. President Trump approved the usage of the National Guard to be used on January 6th if needed. You have I think 2,000, people that you can use as needed, which is, how it was worded. She didn't activate them. She didn't call them up. She didn't bring them in. No riot police, no response police, no special, what have you was used. Okay. I'm forgetting the spiffy diffy words, but y'all are following me. Y'all know what I'm saying. She didn't. And we also know that no videos were shown of people that were invited in by the Capitol Police. Doors that were opened and people were allowed to come in. We know none of that kind of stuff was shown. Why? Because it messes with the narrative of what they wanted to put out there. Nancy Pelosi had full control. She single-handedly could have prevented if she just would have used the tools available to her, which she did not do. That's what I want to know with this January 6th committee. Why isn't any of this stuff being talked about? Why are they throwing all of the blame on President Trump as if he had really anything to do with it? No, he did not. What did he say during his speech? I see a lot of you here. Let's peacefully go to the Capitol to let our voices be heard. Unlike the riots that were going on in all these other cities that were mostly peaceful, burning down buildings and where people have died. Oh no, let's put all the blame on President Trump, even though what he said was in contrast to what happened, and yet they're still going to throw the blame on him. And there's another aspect of this that I am going to talk about a little bit later in the show with Chucky Schumer talking about Brett Kavanaugh and another one, but we'll get into that later. But why isn't those kind of things being brought up? Because simply, it doesn't fit the narrative. It's not what they want. They want to throw all the blame on President Trump. I mean, that's just what it amounts to. This whole entire thing is ridiculous. It's a sham. Everybody knows it. Okay. Before the January 6th, you had all kinds of intel of possible threat. It could get violent, everything. But yet every single time they were asked right up to the day before of, hey, we need this. We need the National Guard. We need these riot police activated. We need to do this because there's a threat to violence and it looks like a credible threat. We need to do something about this. And Nancy Pelosi who had all the authority. She could have single-handedly stopped this from happening, and yet she failed. She failed. She absolutely failed, but nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody in mainstream media, nobody in this committee hearing is going to point the finger at Nancy Pelosi, not a single one of them. Why? Because everybody, even though they claim bipartisan, are never Trumpers. Because that's who we need to blame. Why? Because they are terrified that President Trump, former President Trump, will run in 2024. And they know that if he runs, considering the huge contrast between the two presidencies of former President Trump and current President Biden. Oh, that hurt to say. Oh. The huge difference between the two. They're terrified. That's why you see a lot of things going on right now in the country that's going on. That's why you see so much of this stuff going on. I mean, do you not think that this stuff is planned? It absolutely is, because they're trying to bring in socialism. That's what they want to do. They're trying to dilute the voice of the people with all of these illegal aliens coming across the border, bringing them to places where they need to change the vote, to try to, in a matter of speaking, wash all of the Republican votes out of there in order to ensure a Democrat victory in 2024, and hopefully they want to even achieve this before November of this year, because they know that if we stay on the current flight path, they're screwed come November. They know this. That's why they are working so hard, so diligently to try to get a lot of this stuff, because here's the thing, guys. All right. Without a crisis where the people feel as though the only people that can fix the issues that we are having in this country being the government, because, the government creates a problem and then they try to convince everybody that they are the only person with the power to fix the problem. That's what you have here. Food shortages. Baby formula shortage. Toilet paper shortage. Supply chain issues. All of these things going on. High gas prices. They're the only ones that can fix it, but they're the ones who created the problem. Oh, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do the other. We have to have people provided for. We have to have the government pay for everything. That's what's going on here. They're terrified of losing. So they need to whitewash your vote to make it to where your vote doesn't matter. How the best way to do that? Bring in a population of people that are so appreciative of what the Democrat Party has done that they'll vote for them regardless of what it is that they are truly voting for. Because if they knew what they were actually voting for, do you think they would do it? I don't think so. Because those individuals whom immigrated here legally, that did it the way we are supposed to do it, they don't like what's going on at the border right now. They think it's a sham. They're like, this is ridiculous. They don't like, they did it right. They did it legal. Now here's the thing. This is how we know that they don't care about the legality of it. They don't care about fixing the problem, because since the 80s, people in Congress, everybody are like, we have issues. We need to fix the immigration. It's not right. We need to do this. We need to do that. Well, then why don't you do it? You're Congress. Don't complain to me that the system is broken when you're the one who has the power to fix the system. Instead of complaining about it being broken, fix it. You're the only one that can. You're Congress. The laws, that's you guys. Instead, what do they want to do? They want to yell at and condemn Border Patrol agents, ICE agents, for carrying out the laws that was written by Congress. They want to condemn ICE, condemn them for actually enforcing the law instead of pointing the finger back at them for the laws that were written. It's ridiculous. It really is. And you have Biden who, now if this isn't an impeachable offense, I don't know what is. What's his oath of office? To support and defend the Constitution, the laws. That's what he is supposed to do. Faithfully execute the laws of the nation. And what are they refusing to do? Faithfully execute the laws of the nation. Our immigration laws are laws. We're not talking about regulation of this department or that department that is a function of the executive branch. We're talking about laws that was actually passed by the Senate, by the House, signed into law by the president. And he is not faithfully executing those laws. Congress wants to complain about how those laws are executed instead of actually trying to fix the issue. The whole thing's a sham. They're trying to bring about socialism by putting us in such a dire position as a nation, as a people, that we cry out for assistance and help. And the only one who has the power to do that is the government, even though they're the ones that brought all of our issues here in the first place. We're going to take a break. And when I return, we are actually going to be talking about something that I have talked about before on the show, but this time I'm going to be using some visual aid because of some of the stuff that is going on right now. And this, of course, is based off of, another speech of Biden that I did not watch, I did not listen to. But yet there are still some things that I heard about it. And you know what? We need to bring some visual aid to the table. We need to talk about this. Because some of this stuff, oh man, it's ridiculous. It really is. So we're going to talk about that right on the other side of this break. Just a couple minutes, y'all, and I will be right back. Have you ever had an ailment that a normal over-the-counter remedy just couldn't fight? If this is the case, then boy, have I got the solution for you. Tussin. That's right, Tussin. Cough? Tussin. Cold? Tussin. Runny nose? Tussin. Itchy watery eyes? Tussin. Broken leg? Tussin. Tussin is the ultimate cure-all, guaranteed to stop anything that ails you. Tussin. Available wherever OTCs are sold. All right, and we are back. So, guys, we're going to be touching base on a topic that is near and dear to my heart, the Second Amendment. And some of the stuff that's been going on is like a holy crap. I mean, it really is. You know, and what's annoying to me is you have a very clear, a very clear amendment, the Second Amendment, that is easy to understand. I don't get the problem with it. And even though I have read this on this show numerous times, let's read it again. A well-related... Stop, rewind, play. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And the left would have you believe that the Constitution, the amendments are mutable. They can just be changed with the time. But okay, here's the thing, guys, okay? Considering the standing army is not supposed to be active for over 2 years, our founding fathers knew that the best way to secure a nation is by utilizing the people. Because nobody is going to defend your home better than you. Okay? Nobody's going to do that. You know, whenever we see things that happen in other towns, other municipalities, other states, you know, it just doesn't hit as hard. I mean, yes, it may be tragic. Yes, we may feel, sympathy towards them people. But when it boils right down to it, if it doesn't happen to us, if it doesn't happen in our own backyards, it really doesn't matter. I mean, we're people. We're all the same. I mean, that's just kind of how it is, Not talking down on anybody or any situation, but that's just kind of how we are wired. As long as we're not the ones who are directly affected by whatever happens, it doesn't mean as much to us. And so nobody's going to protect you and yours better than you. So our founding fathers had a thought exercise. Well, what is the best way to secure the state? A well-regulated militia. It's a novel idea. Okay, let's do that. Well, what's one of the things that we need for a well-regulated militia to be possible? Well, what does the militia consist of? Well, the people. If you don't have arms, then you can't be part of the militia, because a fundamental difference between the militia and the military is the militia supplies their own gear, the military, the government supplies it. So you've got to have a weapon, you got to have your arms in order to be part of the militia, in order to have your own stuff for the security of a free state, and well, it can't be infringed upon. It was kind of a fundamental difference, and it's rather important, And we've also entered a time where, they throw around the whole assault rifle thing everywhere. It's like, oh my God. The bad, evil assault weapon. Well, here's the thing. An assault weapon, if everything is an assault weapon, then nothing is an assault weapon. They throw it around so much that it has lost all of its meaning. They want to throw in the AR-15 as, this is, excuse me, like it's an assault weapon. It's like, no, the AR-15 is not an assault weapon. It is a sporting rifle. It's not an assault weapon. Okay. Military weaponry is weapons that shoot multiple rounds per single trigger pull. Civilian weaponry don't do that. One trigger pull, one round downrange. You got lever action, you got bolt action, you got magazines, you got single shots. That pretty well narrows it down. That's everything. Assault weapons don't actually exist. They're not real. It's a term that has been thrown around so much that it has absolutely no meaning. Case in point, have y'all ever looked up the word literally recently? Oh, you really should. Because this is a word, considering how bad it is misused, has absolutely no meaning in today's day and age. It really doesn't. And to even, highlight and shine a big old spotlight on this, they have actually changed the definition to remove all meaning from the word literally in the dictionary. Because literally means, so if you say that word again, I will literally hang up this phone. That means you're going to do it. That is meaning to put emphasis, not really emphasis, but like, I will actually do this if you continue to do that. I will literally do this. But considering that it is misused so much as trying to add emphasis and meaning behind something that it doesn't literally mean it's figuratively being used, they have now added the figurative to the literal in the dictionary, taking literally meaning absolutely nothing. Literally doesn't exist anymore. Everything is figurative, even the literal. That's what they've done. They've changed the definition based off of ignorant usage of the word. That's the same thing that has happened with the term assault rifle. It has been misused to the point that it no longer has meaning. Are you following me? Do you hear what I'm saying? It no longer has meaning. And I've got some articles in here. This one from Fox News, and I'm just going to kind of go through some of these things a little quickly, and we'll talk about them, Fox News, support for assault weapons ban hits an all-time low following Uvalde shooting poll. So I can't read. Okay. Which is it, leftists? An AR-15, is the AR-15 a weapon of war, or is it useless against a government military? Oh, yeah, pop-ups. AOC believes in a magical line that turns guns evil, and it happens to exist between Indiana and Ohio and Illinois. Supreme Court rules that Constitution does not apply to 60% of the U.S. population. Okays warrantless assault and home invasions by armed agents. Now, guys, I tell you what, this one I thought was like, holy crap. This one definitely took my meter like way up there. Seeing this one. 60% of the U.S. population okays warrantless assaults and home invasion by armed agents. Oh, but it gets worse. CNN op-ed calls for the repeal of the Second Amendment. Let's just get rid of it, which is what they're trying to do. House passes red flag law allowing judges to seize firearms of those deemed dangerous, absolutely removing the whole innocent till proven guilty type of thing. We're going in a direction that is absolutely terrifying. We really are. We're going into, we need to pay attention, guys. We really do. they are and I don't want to say they're starting to go into a direction, because that's misleading. This is something that they have been doing for quite some time, going into this direction. You know, how do you eat an elephant? The Second Amendment is a big freaking elephant. How do you eat that elephant? One bite at a time. That's what the government has been doing for a very long time. Just taking a bite here, a little nibble. You know, let's take a small chunk off that. That's what they've been doing for quite some time. And they have gotten to a point now, they have removed, they've taken enough bites out of it. They've taken enough bites out of the Second Amendment that if they really wanted to, Constitution aside, just rip it up. Doesn't matter anymore. If they really wanted to. That's the truth. That's the fact of the matter. If they really wanted to, done. They've taken enough bites. They've removed enough limbs. They've taken the stinger out of the bee, so to speak. If they really wanted to. With red flag laws, you know, not in all jurisdictions, but in many, in a lot of jurisdictions. If they really wanted to. Just let that one sink in. Red flag laws, without a warrant, without just cause, go into your home for no reason than your neighbor doesn't like your politics. They see a Trump flag. Oh, Ermiger. He must be one of them evil conservatives. He probably has guns. We have to stop him. People have died with the execution of some of these red flag laws. It's happened. You're not going to hear that on the news. It's absolutely ridiculous what's going on. It's terrifying. But this all started from, where did that article go? Where did that article go? I don't know where that article went. Something during that interview that Biden had, that not interview, but speech that he had talking about, now look, here again, y'all, I did not listen. I have a hard time listening to this president. I really do. The blunders, the issues, the things that come out of his mouth, I really do have a hard time listening to this president. I really do. And one of the things that he said was so ridiculous, it bears repeating. And that's, talking about the 9mm round, that, this is a round that is so deadly that, it'll, if somebody is shot, it'll just make their lung just fly right out of their body. He said something to that extent. Okay. Yeah. It's like, are you kidding me? Really? Seriously? No, I mean, this isn't the first time that he said something so ridiculous that anybody with half a brain would be like, really, dude? Really? Saying something so wrong that it's just, you don't question it. You don't follow up with it because you're just like, huh? And this was kind of one of those things. Now, today, I brought with me some visualizations. Okay. I got with me some friends of mine that are going to help demonstrate rounds. Here they are. Now, these are visualizations that are only here for those that are watching on the various places. And then there's a very good possibility that this video is going to be taken down. But you know what? I don't care. Starting from left to right, here's the rounds. On the far left, that's a 50 cal. That's a big round. You need a county to shoot one of these. It's a big round. That's one of those things where, you just got to be close. You don't necessarily have to be on target. You just got to be kind of close. You're going to do some damage. That's a 50 cal. That's a big one. The next one is the Russian Nagant rifle. It's the Mazi, I think, but it's a 7.62 by 5.4R. The next one past that is the 308. It's not the NATO 308, which is a 7.62 by 5.1. It is the civilian round. The next one is the round for the AR-15. That's the little bitty guy. Ta-da! That's that one. That's for the AR-15. That's the civilian round, which is a 5.56. I don't know the other one, but that's the 223, civilian 223 round. The next one is a pistol round. Now, the first four, those are all rifle rounds. The next one, well, that's a pistol round. That's the 45. And then the last one, the very one on the far right, that's a 9mm round. And that's the one that Biden says is going to blow your lung out if you get shot by it. Really? Really? I'll tell you what, there's a round that I have for my 9mm, and I'll tell you what, these things are expensive. Let me tell you, they're expensive. They are RIP rounds. Yeah, rippers. Them things are neat. Okay, they're pretty spiffy, and I would love to get some ballistics gel and shoot it and see what it does. I mean, this thing is very spiffy. If you've never seen an RIP round, look one up. They're pretty spiffy looking. I mean, holy crap. I definitely want to get me some ballistics gel. I did see a recipe on making it yourself if you want to make it. And I'm like, I might have to do that because I really want to shoot this thing in the ballistics gel to get a good idea of what actually, like, holy cow. I mean, regular hollow point is bad enough, but this sucker, whew, that brings it to an all new level. It brings it to an all new level. But here's the thing, guys. All right. They are trying to, now I tell you what though, I really do like the response of this quite a bit. I really do. Okay. Because they have gotten so ridiculous and so predictable with their talk on guns, weapons, and everything else. I think people are really starting to get the picture, get the point, as far as the left wants nothing more to disarm you. Never waste a tragedy, and all the gun laws that they write are not going to do anything to stop criminals because criminals don't care about laws. That's why they're criminals. And all they're doing is restricting the access that the law-abiding citizen has to weapons to defend themselves. And somehow they think that with a unarmed populace, that would somehow make criminals nicer. Maybe not to prevent crime, but at least to prevent crime that would kill people. Like, you're still going to get robbed, but since you're not armed, they're not going to kill you. That's kind of what their mentality is on this. It's ridiculous. It really is. But they want to disarm everybody. Now, here's the thing. After 250 years, why is it now we have to disarm people? And I get it. We all want the same thing. We all want our children to be safe. We all want, our children to be able to go to school and not have to worry about things. We all want our children and ourselves to be able to, be in our neighborhoods and not have to worry about gun violence. I mean, yes, we all want the same thing, but for some reason, the left is like, we'll just take all of law-abiding citizens' guns away, and that'll stop the crime, because if the criminals don't fear retaliation that would end their life, then they're not going to do that. And it's like, that's the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard in my life. What is a lion more apt to go after. Who do wolves target in a herd? Do they target the strongest amongst them? No. They go after the weak. That's what they go after. What is a lion more apt to go after? An animal that has the ability to retaliate, like a porcupine. Imagine a porcupine without quills. Would it last very long? No. No, it wouldn't. Why? Because it's been disarmed. Now the jackals, the wolves, the hyenas have nothing to stop them. Because it's unarmed. I don't understand what is so hard about that concept. But what's awesome is that at least a lot of the population is really starting to wake up to the idea that this is ridiculous. This isn't going to help anything. You know, and I tell you what, I really do think that in a matter of speaking, at least on the, not me granted, okay, we still have a population that is very dependent upon government aid. However, at least people are starting to wake up to the idea and wake up, and they're starting to see that the government is really doing what a lot of the people, the really woke people, have been shouting about for some time, that, dude, they don't have your best interest in mind. That they want to make you dependent so you can't take care of yourselves. I mean, what's one of the reasons why you don't feed the buffalo? Because you don't want the buffalo to be dependent upon the handout. You want them to be able to defend themselves, to provide for themselves, to catch their own food, the whole 9 yards. You want them to be able to do that. You don't want them to be dependent upon the handout. Then they're no longer fit to be in the wild. But that's the same thing that the government has been doing to the population of America for some time. Making people dependent upon government to where they can't provide for themselves. They have to have the handout. That's the only way that they know. This has been done as a generational type of a thing. Started a while back ago. People are at least starting to see that the government is so ridiculous in some of the stuff that it says that it's like, wow. The doublespeak, the ridiculousness of what they're saying is starting to take notice. And at least I have faith in that. It's like, that's good, isn't it? Isn't that good? I think it's good. I really think it's good. They want to get rid of gun laws altogether. They talk about abortion like it is this God-given right. It's like, dude, look, I've read this, the Constitution. This has the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence. There is no right to kill your unborn baby in here. And they want to say that as an immutable right that you have. Well, it does say you have the right to life in here. Explicit. There is an explicit right to protect yourself in the Second Amendment, but yet those are mutable. Those can be taken away. Those can be restricted, even though it specifically says shall not be infringed. There's a reason. Y'all, we need to pay attention to what's going on out there. We really do. We need to stop, collaborate, and listen. Wait, crap. Anytime somebody yells stop at me, I'm like, wait, you got to be more specific. Am I supposed to collaborate and listen? Is it hammer time? Or am I doing this in the name of love? I really have to know what's going on, because just saying stop, it's like there's 3 different ways this can go. Heck, there might even be more. Anyway, I know there's something wrong with me. The government's looking to do something that they know that we, the people, are going to be pissed off about. That's the bottom line. That's what it amounts to. And like I've said in previous episodes, that the government does not represent you. We do not have a representative government anymore. We don't. Our founding fathers warned of this a long time ago. They said, do not fall for the party system, because we will care not about the individual that we are voting for, but we will care about the little d or the little r that is next to their name. These are private companies that represent themselves and their own interests. They are not companies that represent the people. Did you hear me? We, the people, need to wake up to that. We really do. We, the people, need to start holding these people responsible for what they're doing. Stop voting for somebody. Guys, okay, I've voted for Democrats. I am not a Democrat by any stretch of the imagination. I voted for Democrats. Why? Because I knew the person. Local election, absolutely. I voted for Democrats because I know the people. I know who they are. And I believed in them. That's why I voted for them. It didn't have anything to do about their party affiliation. It was about them as an individual. And yeah, I have voted for Democrats. I have voted for independents. I consider myself more as a Republican, even though I don't consider myself a Republican. I am a constitutional conservative with libertarian leanings. That's politically what I am. Yeah. Guys, there's actually more, but we're an hour into this, and yeah. I mean, there's not a whole heck of a lot more. That's pretty much the extent of it. There's some border stuff in here, but, I already covered that a little bit. Migration issue at the border, some stuff that Ted Cruz was talking about that, of course, is being blown out of proportion, and they're lying to us about what he actually said or what was actually going on in this. Oh, yeah, that's something I didn't talk about. Yeah, we'll talk about that later, because there's still more stuff going on with that one, so we'll get to that one later. So, guys, that's all I got for y'all today. Y'all have yourself a wonderful evening. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, all. This has been The Ho-Ho Show. For more information, you can head to thehohoshow.com. And for the merchandise store, you can head on over to stinkpickle.com. That is stinkpikle.com. Until next time.